This is a TalkStation original podcast.
On this week's episode of the Paper Boys podcast, JJ and I talk to Havelock alum Ky Bowman. We talk about his incredible journey spanning from Boston College to the Golden State Warriors to playing for Treviso in Italy. It all starts right now on the Paper Boys podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Paper Boys podcast. I'm JJ Smith.
And I'm Zack Nally.
We're reporters with the Carteret County News-Times. We are joined today by former Havelock High School, Boston College, Golden State Warriors, and current Italian League basketball player Ky Bowman. Thanks for being with us.
Thank y'all for having me.
Let's settle something right off the bat here. Last week I wrote a column in the Carteret County News-Times, and I talked about all the Carteret County athletes have made it to the highest level. And we've got 3 NFL players, we've got 3 Major League Baseball players. We had a guy who came this close to making the Olympics. We don't have anybody in the National Hockey League. I said Zack almost made it because he played roller hockey back in the day.
Could have been.
And I said we came really close to having an NBA player, and it's you. Because according to Daniel Griffey, you lived like a hair over the county line.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So it was really.
How long would it take you to walk into Carteret County from your house?
It's probably a step actually, right behind the line, because where we stay is not, that address is able to be used for either one. So it was kind of like a thing in my head, like, hey, Coach Kane's going to East Carteret. Hey, we might be making that move.
Oh man, that was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Man. Don't say that, Ky.
It was already on that line.
That Tarboro game could have gone a little different.
Carteret people crying right now.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
And then the other thing he told me was when your family moved up from South Carolina, you spent a year at Beaufort Elementary School. What's he right about that?
we used to go to school down in Beaufort, then Moray. We also went to Newport. And
Wow.
Yeah, then we finally.
So you did spend some time in Carteret County.
Yeah, so then we finally went to Havelock, and we finished out all the way through Havelock. Yeah.
How many years would you say you went to school in Carteret County?
Probably 2. I think for my brothers, and 3, 4.
What do you think, Zachary? Now 2 years in the Carteret County school system?
I think we can claim a little bit of it. I'm just saying, like Carteret County, like native or like something close to there.
I don't know. 2 years. That's pretty good.
Well, he's in the room right now, so for right now,
it's a real gray area.
Yeah.
Well, I would throw it back in Ky's lap, and I would say, if I was Ky, I would say Carteret County, because that would make him the only NBA player from Carteret County. Whereas in Craven County, you're number 2. Do you know who number 1 is?
Nah.
Walt Bellamy. Have you ever heard of Walt Bellamy?
Nah.
That's back in the day.
Walt Bellamy.
Walt Bellamy played at New Bern. Well, back then it was J.T. Barber. That was the African American school, and went to Indiana.
Wait, like NBA, like Walt Bellamy. He's a character on like the old school rosters on 2K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen that name.
Yeah. He was legit. That guy was the number 1 pick in the draft.
Wow.
He was the NBA Rookie of the Year.
And he's from Havelock?
He's from New Bern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Played at J.T. Barber. Would have played at New Bern had a different world existed.
Yeah.
Number 1 pick went to Indiana. I think he still holds the record for rebounds in
idea.
Indiana. He had 33 rebounds in a game in Indiana.
Jeez.
His rookie year in the NBA, he averaged 32 and 18.
Yeah, he's like Oscar Robinson, Walt Bellamy. Like that's that same era.
Yeah, Jerry West.
That's right. That's right.
That era. Yeah.
They all move real funny on 2K, like they're all stiff. You know what I mean?
4-time NBA All-Star, won the 1960 Olympics. So Ky don't want to be behind that. He wants to be the only guy from Carteret County.
Absolutely.
So
that's a good. Consider that.
That's an accolade to catch up to me.
All right. So Ky's been playing in Italy for 2 years, right?
Yep.
Man, I just mentioned, when I introduced you, you're playing basketball at Havelock. You're playing basketball in Boston. You're playing basketball in San Francisco. You're playing basketball in Italy. Man, this round leather ball is taking you some places in this world, isn't it?
Yeah, it have. It took me a lot of places that I couldn't really imagine. Just from being overseas, but also like my first year playing in Champions League, playing in teams in Amsterdam. So it was just like experiencing like different places. Like you never know where you're gonna go. But even being in Italy, like everything is so close. Everything is easier by train, so it's easier to travel around. But hopefully, like this. The first 2 years I didn't really like travel as much, but just because I was wanting to work it. But this year, plan on like making sure I take those days that we do get just to go to places that are around in the area. Because the team that I'm signed with right now, we're in the north, Treviso, so we're right beside like Bologna, Milan and stuff. So it's not too far from us. Whereas like out here, like driving over there is different than driving like in the States. As far as like getting somewhere, it's like a A 2-hour drive can feel like really like an hour, maybe 45 minutes, just because it's not too many like traffic or highway stops going on. But over here, it's a lot of traffic, but also it's a lot of like crazy driving. But you don't really. I mean, they got like they don't really have like highway patrol. They just have like monitors with just automatic scanners. Okay. So you'll get a ticket. So,
in the mail and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Teammates, yeah. So all teammates gonna have a ticket because nobody's used to it. Like when you first come, so it's like, yeah, there's a ticket right there.
They're starting to do that now a little bit. I've got some family members that have traveled up north. They come home and there's something waiting in the mail for them.
Oh yeah.
Well, Zack and I covered you at Havelock. You played West a ton. You played East a ton. And so we've seen you play high school ball. We've seen you play at Boston College. Obviously, we know what ACC basketball looks like. We saw you play in the NBA with Golden State Warriors. We know what the NBA looks like. But we don't know what Italian League basketball looks like. Give us an idea of what it's like to play basketball in Italy.
Just from like the fans' perspective, as far as like, think of it as a collegiate like athlete, like far as like the fans in the stadium, that's how like they like represent their team to like the full like
they're passionate.
Yeah, very
that's
passionate.
Awesome.
And it's like you gotta like come in there, you really gotta understand like they really like buy into like the team and stuff, and like far as like really have your back. Even like with us, like we started off 0-9. We had a rough start last year, so they was on us like come to the gym, like they was really like.
Were they booing?
They said some stuff in Italian, but
they're passionate.
Yeah, they're passionate. Yeah, they gonna let you.
It goes both
like
ways.
Philly. Yeah,
okay. That's a good comparison.
But even like when you go to like certain areas like down south, like playing Scafati and stuff, like those fans so passionate and stuff, like actually like on the pole. So it's not like they're like, it's almost like you might as well say they're on the court more so than like. It feel like they're on the court.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
So up close and personal.
Yeah, very up close. Yeah. But just from that alone, like that's how like every Sunday is. Like this is what everybody live for. That and soccer games. So it's really much like when you do come, you gotta be locked in because like you gonna have to. For us, like it been like a 1-day game. You gotta go through the whole week around the city, and people know your card. You can't really eat out. So it's like. You kind of like gotta win like at a point, so it's like but even from that, like going into the games, as far as like the speed in comparison to the league, things are up paced, but it's to a point where it's more like control. Like it's not too much of like fast breaks. Like they'll do take fouls. A lot of take fouls will happen, like just to make sure teams don't score. So that was like something new I was experiencing. I was like, okay, if we're gonna start using take fouls, I'm gonna start using them. So I just started using them for
sure.
But the only thing is that you can't get called for intentional if you're not like really reaching for the ball. So they're a little picky on those. Like
you gotta
those
disguise it a little bit.
Yeah, those calls are a little picky. So it's kind of like hard to get like a call in certain areas. But just from the game alone, like it's very physical. Like every play is gonna be a bump. Somebody's gonna fall regardless. Like it's just very, very physical minded game, and every set is like every play matter. Like a 15-0 run, it's hard to come back like down 15. Like those down 20, you might as well. We came back against Bologna at Brindisi, down 20, and they ended up hitting the game winner stuff where that was a tough like for us to like actually fight back into the game. But it's just that teams know how to like keep control and like. This is what we're gonna run. We're gonna play this. If y'all score, we can call this out. So it's very like
hard to get momentum.
Yeah, they won't let you get momentum. Like even like fast break from me. Like I had guys like tell me, no, you can't get a fast break. Like our coach said, you cannot get a fast break.
Oh man, so it's so different.
Yeah, so it's things like that. They really like, as far as like players, they really like buy into the keys and the roles of the game. So it's like this our scheme and this what we're not letting. Let's just take it all away. So But I like it. I really love like the atmosphere, the coaching, and how just the way of the basketball whole scheme is as far as like actually fundamental. Like it's more of like a fundamentally sound game.
Sure.
More than the league is, don't get me wrong, that everybody got skills, but it's just more of like the IQ gotta be there. Like three bad possessions, it could lose you the game. Like every possession matters over there. Like sometimes like every possession matters, but at the same point, like it's so much of a fast playing game that you can live by the 3 or die by the 3 kind of game. But over there, it's like you got to get fouls. You got to really like put the momentum. You got to start off aggressive on defense because there will be teams that's just come out hot. Like we had some games where we'll start 3-18, like this is what we're fighting from this in the first. So it's been like a lot of different like schemes that I've seen, but also like things that help me like see the game more in the sense of like the way the refs are calling in as far as like who's the aggressive and stuff. So that really helped me like build as far as my character like on the court and stuff, and just helped me like grow. So
it sounds like they're low scoring games.
I was gonna say not as many points.
I mean, there's a couple teams that will try to like run the score up. Rays have been one of them. Like they play a fast break.
Okay. So it's just your.
I mean, most of the teams in the
okay,
league,
but some
some try to speed. Some play that just run and gun.
Yeah.
First threes. Okay. We like the 3.
Sure.
No middies. Yeah. So
is it easier on the body a little bit, like conditioning wise? I wonder if you're not fast breaking quite as much.
Well, I feel like the way that we practice, I feel that's already like get your body ready for for the game. With us playing once a week, like we'll practice. So our practice is usually like it's kind of like a scrimmage, kind of almost. Sure. Like it's kind of like we'll get some work in, we'll do things to warm our body. Then it's like kind of more so let's work on our game, but also let's work on these plays right here. So it's more so us really trying to get reps in and just being locked in on like what's the other options that we got out of this, and trying to. I feel that our coach Touche is more of a coach who really lets you like see if you can make this other read. Like let us see if like you can play and move like make the reads for yourself before I have to like try to come in and like make changes and stuff. So
how many guys are on the team? Like 25, 20?
I'll say like 17. I mean, but we do have like our young guys that will switch in and out. As far as there's usually 3 that go with us, and then sometimes there's 2. So they'll switch the our younger guys out who are locals, who also play on our younger teams. But right now I want to say it was 15 last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was you mentioned local. That's my next question. Is what's the mix of like? Are there a lot of Americans on the team? Is it a lot of international guys?
Every team have like I want to say it's a six player as far as like that count as a foreigner.
Okay.
And usually the rest is locals. But I mean, there's a lot of ways around like certain things that I think the league and all the business owners do as far as like making sure they get the right pieces and stuff. Just because there's so many guys that also, I mean, they got a lot of great Italians already there, so it's already a big market for that alone. So guys is already there that's been there for a while, and those coaches, the game, so they're already like looking for that. But then you bring the Americans over they already seen the game, but also able to adapt to like the quicker pace. So they bring in a lot of pieces to try to figure it out, and then if it don't work, they're quick to just let it go.
Be done with that. Yeah.
So that's the one thing about it. It's really about overseas. Really showed me that you really got professionalism of how you got to be as far as with the GM, because having GMs and your coaches like there every day. Like usually when I was in the league, it's not so much you'll see like the GM and stuff, but you'll see the coaches and stuff. But you want to see like all the other like there you see all the GMs. They'll be sitting at the table while we're practicing and stuff. Like they're
wow.
So it's kind of like you can't really like have like an off day. So it's kind of one of those. Like I mean, you can have like an off day and like kind of thing, but it's like you're gonna hear about it. Like our GM, he was the type to like actually talk. Like he'll talk trash to us, like even about anything. But it was just that like player. He was a player before, and him also having he was coached by my coach. So him so it was a weird but a unique like experience to actually like have him as like a GM when I first came in and stuff. And that was like unique because at the time I broke my hand in the start of the season. So I was like, they wanted me to get a shield, but he was like, no, like if this is on you. So I really like respected him, like keeping that more of this is your decision, and like we don't want to try to rush you back in it, because you hear stories about people trying to like rush people back into like playing and stuff. But just giving that like that composure of like it's up to you. and I'm not gonna hold it to you. But he was like, I'm still gonna talk junk to you every day, you know.
Right. You should, you should be out there, but understanding.
You were telling us about playing one game a week. How wild is that when you're growing up playing high school, college, NBA, playing 2 to 3 times a week?
Oh man, it's interesting. I mean, so the biggest thing is just trying to get the Euro Champions League with the team right now. And getting to one of those, I mean, we'll be playing 2 games a week. But that one game a week, it's really it's healthy, but at the same time, it just takes so long for that Sunday to come back around, and it's like it's a repetitive cycle of the practice and stuff. But it's just not that. It's not like you're just practicing against your teammates until that Sunday. So it's like I can't really like go hard at you like all the time like that. Gotta make sure that you're good. Like
so you're basically on an NFL schedule, playing every Sunday.
Yeah, kind of way. But at the same time, it's also like not just good for the body, but far as like you getting your skill development, you're working. Like if you really want to master in your craft, the gym is there for us to use and stuff. So these days that we don't have, like 1 or 2 days, like getting in and just getting working, whether it's film and stuff, is really one of the main components that you got to really like take into the time. I mean, when I watched more basketball overseas than I watched when I was here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
you got a lot of downtime, right?
Yeah, I'll probably after practice. So if practice ends at 7:30, I know there's already a game on. So I'm already back. Once I get home, I'm watching the game. Whether it's Euro League, whether it's Turkish League, Champions League, I'm watching like one of the games, even our film. But a lot of times, like that's why I was trying to get my nephews them to understand, like if you're gonna play the sport, you need to just watch film. Like be able to break down a film for yourself.
Right, even at that level.
Yeah,
it's still important to look at that.
Because if you at the end of the day, if you got like if you want to have success in it, like the better you know it, the better you understand it, the easier it's gonna be as far as you to pick things apart. Like for me, when I first came into the league, like I was a guard, scoring guard, like but they wanted to do more, change me to like a facilitator. But the thing is, I see the passes, but it's also I was feeling like real back, like I had to like wasn't so much of like I couldn't score the ball, but it was almost like my confidence of like me shooting the ball wasn't like there. It was like I got a shot, but I'm not taking it, kind of thing. Because in my head at the time, that's what I was thinking. But now it was just at the time it was just so much happening, and then being such a young player at the time that everything started to like kind of line up. And then after I was able to like actually like see it like for what it was, then I was like, okay, now I see everything. But also at the same time, I was like, I just got to make sure that I'm doing all the small work on the side to make sure that I'm ready for whatever else there is, as far as like just the journey or even whatever else is after this as far as basketball. So
sure. No, you're right. I mean, film is a crucial. I mean, I just was writing something about the Olympics for my column this week, and about how these athletes are using AR, augmented reality, and virtual reality to study their own movements and how they do stuff, and study other athletes' movements, and like noticing a little hitch here or a little thing there that they can kind of fine tune. And no matter what level you're at, continuing to learn the game and how others play it and how you play is crucial. Yeah. What's the facilities like over there compared to like a ACC school?
I mean, BC just got a new ACC department, so I don't know. I haven't seen it either. So, but it's very different. It's not as modern.
Sure.
Not too much. I mean, certain areas where there's a lot of funding at, there's the nicer facilities, more so. But at the same time, a lot of teams is already gone. It's like if you shout there, you shout there. But it's just that's just the kind of like the lifestyle, but also like the how to put it, kind of the history behind like the buildings and stuff. So everything's kind of like still historic. As far as not too many changes, the only people that really made changes is Bologna, but they got like I think they got about to have 3 gyms now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because they have a second division team.
Okay.
That's where they played at before, and now they got their team that's in Serie A. They have like a dome. It's kind of like a dome, but the first one was kind of like a stadium that went like outward. So it was kind of like they was like the crowd was sitting over top of you.
Oh
almost.
wow!
But I loved the old one. Like
sure.
that was the historic one where it was shaped like kind of like a cup in a way. So I was really like impressed when I first that was the first time I've been.
Well, so different, right?
Yeah, and it was the fans in there and stuff. You can't hear nothing. Yeah, it's really
It sounds like a Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, a lot of games is just you can't hear nothing.
Can't hear your teammates.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, that's already off limits. Calls, it's a lot of signals going. It's a lot of signals. If you really got to. That's why, far as communication, on the court is so pivotal, in these games and stuff, because you really can't hear the calls. It'll be times. There've been times where we had arguments. Hey, we gotta say something. Nobody's talking. No, we just can't hear you, kind of thing. We can't.
I'm saying something. You just can't hear me.
So we had games like that, but at the same time, if you play at our home place, I know people can't hear. We can hear because we're used to it, but other people, they're not. It's kind of it's
different.
It's a shock.
Do they have noisemakers with the soccer stadiums?
Oh, they have everything. Some people have cowbells down.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a lot. Whistles.
Okay. So it's a little chaotic. So we're imagining people yelling. You're no. It's chaos.
Yeah, it's a circus.
It's good though. It's
that's wild.
It's a good vibe. You can really feel the energy.
Yeah.
And if you say something, if you're not on their side, they'll let you have it. They'll let you have all the boos. But it's part of the game, It's part of the.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
Pressure.
And playing one game a week, man, there's a lot of pressure to get that W in there.
That is.
Yeah.
Because every game matters.
It's like football.
Like you said, the next week you're just getting to go food. You're not going to eat out restaurants because they're gonna let you hear it.
Oh yeah. Never. We got to get the winning before I had I got a taco spot out in Mexicano, and I would go there on Tuesdays, and we started losing. I'm not showing my face because I know everybody gonna be there.
DoorDash or
so
something.
I had to start going on Thursdays. I was I'm still gonna come to my spot, but I'm gonna just come on Thursdays. I know nobody gonna be here. Right
That's
now.
right.
Oh, wow.
But I was there every Tuesday. Then we had, I think we lost three that we should have had easily.
Oh.
We lost a lot of close games that we should have easily had that we did to ourselves. But once we lost those, I was Tuesday I'm not there. Even grocery stores, I'm not in the grocery store. I was if I go to the grocery store, somebody gonna be God, we win this game, all right? But
versus when you win 3 in a row, now you're going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're going every day.
3 in a row, oh man, 3 in a row. City's already hot.
Yeah.
Two, the city's already going crazy. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, just the fans, the atmosphere, the love that you get away from the court, as far as pedestrians, kids and stuff that's all
they're really invested, huh?
Yeah, they're really invested. And very it's very genuine as far as being and wanting you to stay on. But if they don't, they'll let you. It's kind of this is how we feel, kind of thing, more so than
sure.
Yeah.
That's how we're not hearing. If I feel this way about y'all, then that's how they feel. So it's a lot of more so a historic respect level out there. Just far as what you do and what who you play for, as far as the city and stuff and the area. So I mean, depending on where you're at, really, but usually every place that there is as far as the league, always you buy something nice or you're not too far from Milan or Bologna, whether down in South Brindisi, you might as well take that flight.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a little flight.
Okay.
Down south, yeah.
A little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. You got to fly it. We didn't really fly to a lot of games this previous year. My first year we flew to a lot due to us being down in South Italy. The only team that Sassari, they're on an island. They're on their own island. So you gotta, and it's an automatic 12:00 game. So that's the only thing that's already it already kills the whole vibe. It's kind of to me, I feel like it's an advantage.
Sure.
For them.
Yeah, for them. Because y'all know y'all gonna play it
absolutely.
This is y'all season. Y'all always get this time. We get this time probably once or twice, 3 times if we're lucky. But we never. We don't even get a Saturday. You'll get a Saturday if there's a kind of a holiday that falls in between.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll try to push it up. But other than that, I mean, maybe they'll give you a Monday, but even Monday, it's kind of iffy about who's gonna show up. But it's a lot of love and support that goes behind all that stuff. Yeah, so it don't even matter where you playing. They're gonna try to make it. Yeah, so even like when we played down south, like from Treviso, the fans came. Like they came to Naples, which is also down south of Italy. And it was like, oh, y'all really pulled up regardless. So I'm like,
That's awesome.
yeah. So it's a lot of like diehard fans, diehard like love. Like this is what like we stand behind Treviso, not just for like what it is, but not just the basketball, but this is like our city. Like, dude, we embrace this. So.
How about practices and games and coaches and teammates and the language barrier? Is that a problem?
Not so much. For me, when I first got there, I thought it was gonna be like, hard to like actually like maneuver for communication for staff and stuff. But for the most part, a lot of people understand English, and a lot of people are they're very easy like to how to say kind of like help with like the English, like easy to understand the English far as perspective. Down south, not too many people spoke English, so it was hard. Yeah, it was
Interesting.
Yeah, certain things was harder, and there's a different dialect down south. So certain things you can't just say because it don't mean the same thing down south.
Wow.
So that's why, and I ended up finding that out when I went up to Treviso last year. But a lot of people up north speak English, but it's easy. Most people are easier like to talk to up north. Down south, it's just the language barrier far more than how you trying to progress them, because there's a lot of people down south that will just like, who are like, what are you doing?
Sure,
like,
sure.
Yeah, kind of thing. But up north is not too much of that. It's just the historic of kind of like, it's kind of like the East Coast to like the West Coast kind of thing, like to San Francisco.
The cultural gap is big.
That's
Okay.
what it is. That's the only.
Well, that's
the
nice
only
that up
difference,
north they're more accommodating to like understanding that if they don't speak English, maybe they will be patient with you and go back and forth.
Yeah, that's the beauty about it, is like being able to actually feel that confidence that somebody's gonna actually be able to like understand you. Like that's the biggest thing you gotta really think about when you first like go there. It's like you don't really know if you got help until you got help. So, and then the other part is just figuring out your places, figuring out people around the city, and who who's gonna help you and who's easy to like to connect with. It's gonna make it a lot more easier on the things that you got to do, but also being able to understand it, pick up the language and stuff, and picking up certain things, like being said, but also picking on like words and stuff. Like for me, this year I'm gonna try to jump into more Italian language. I tried it for a little bit, but it was kind of
Just mille grazie and everybody.
yeah. A lot of grazie mille.
Mille grazie to you. Mille grazie to you. That's all I got for you.
Yeah.
Are you taking advantage of the food?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just in general, like the restaurants I go to and like the places I've seen. Been down to Venice. There's been like a couple of adventures that don't cost as much as would cost out here, kind of thing. Like private boat across to a dinner. Like I think the boat was probably 50 euros. So it's like small like little things, but it's like subtle that's like over here we'll have to pay so much like to do that kind of thing, and like it's so much got to come with that. But over there it's like it's so much easier to like to do those kind of dinners, and also like go to a lot more like restaurants. Like there's a lot of different restaurants that you can find in the area. Not everybody's like, I mean, a lot of people have their Italian dish, but there's also a lot of seafood places by Treviso that kind of like pick out fresh. So it's whatever we caught for today.
Has it ruined Olive Garden for you forever?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You're sure. Like, this is not it.
It was already gone.
This pasta's not fresh, so I don't know.
There's 7 leagues in Italy. You're at the highest one, Serie A.
Yep. LBA Serie A.
Were you looking at other areas? I mean, there's lots of Euro leagues. There's great ball in Turkey and Russia and Spain, Germany, you name it.
John Humphrey went to Japan, right?
Yeah,
it's out there.
You name it.
I mean, there's a lot. I did consider it, but just knowing like the team, my coaches, them, I was with them down in Brindisi as well, and just knowing them, that relationship, I see how much that relationship holds, and how much of the relationship is really more more the business part far as just alone and not really knowing if you're gonna get that same thing if you go to somewhere else. So that's like a big thing for me, but also like having guys that's coming back to play with me this year and being able to compete for something bigger than what we did for last year. So just having those like that moral support and also knowing that you got that moral support, being away from family for so long. I mean that's kind of like I think that's really the biggest gap far as like a lot of players and the detachment from like the States is that just the family thing. Like far as you bring your family, it's a whole different ball game.
Oh, okay.
But being away from the family is really the time start to add up. After a while the time's like, okay, all right, it's time for me to go see somebody. But at the same time we only get that one break, so it's usually like a week. But I mean, like with the league, I mean, you're already flying. Like over here, you're flying to somewhere, and then you're like probably gonna stay at night. You can see your family or your friends that's live in that city or wherever. Over there, it's kind of like you gotta fly 16 to get
It's
here.
a long way.
Yeah.
16 back.
How long are you on break right now?
I mean, get back. I'm supposed to be doing a TBT coming up on the 16th, so I'll be playing with the program for autism New York City up in TBT. So, and then I'll get back out August 16th.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
How long have you been off?
So not really.
Is it like a month or a couple weeks?
No, it's kind of like 2 months.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So it's
That's
because
decent.
we didn't go to playoffs, so it was kind of like guys is already on that break. We had that break, so it was more so just really. I'm gonna really just lock into these playoffs. That's all I really did, and just really just studied the game the whole time. That's all there was to really do too. So it just made me really just want to buy in more away from just the plan side of like actually like understanding like the things away from the court and stuff. As far as the business, not just the business side, but what's beyond the business side. As far as like the pieces that's being moved and how these pieces are potentially going to help other works and stuff. So that's what
has seeing that side of things. Do you think you'll try to stay around the game for as long as possible, like even post playing?
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I see myself actually being still around some part of basketball. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be coaching. My thing, I actually want to own a team, so that's one thing I do.
Sure.
Yeah, I do want to do that. That's one thing I am gonna do.
And of course, we're still a long way from that year. What, 27?
27.
Yeah,
27,
okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna own me one though. Yeah, I just gotta.
It'd be like LeBron.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and speak.
Forget coaching. I'm just going to
Yeah, own it and then coach it.
Sure, all of it.
You don't have to worry about firing. You don't have to worry about getting fired then, right? 2 years in Italy is the biggest adjustment being away from family and friends. That tough.
Oh yeah, it is tough. I mean, but just really knowing the people that's gonna call you and reach out, and just making sure you call and reach out is the best thing to do. Talking to people every day that you really locked in as far as family and friends, and just making sure that they hear your voice, regardless or see your face is really like I know is a really peace point to guys being actually comfortable and happy like while they're there. So you can see a lot of like if something's happening at home, yeah, it can show as far as like players and stuff and like their actions and stuff because we're around each other every day. Mm-hmm. Like in that situation, like when we're overseas, like these teammates, like we're more so already brothers. As far as like maybe like the second week, maybe before we get to like actually like to training camp and stuff, just because we're already been around each other, we're gonna. Like, when we flew into Treviso, 4 of my teammates, we all had the same flight out of Turkey. Okay. So it was kind of like, oh, we all stuck here. So we all might as well go get a drink. We all sit down, like, let's go ahead and talk. So it was kind of like already building that bond. So that's automatic, like, already expected as far as, like, when you first land, and just figuring out who's going to be there with you as far as, like, what guys like to do, what guys don't do, who's like the night out, who's want to be out and be active. But a lot of guys is more so, all right, if we're doing this in the morning. So it's as long as you know how to. The thing about overseas is that you make sure you take care of your business. That's the main thing. If you're not taking care of your business, regardless of where you're at, I mean, you gotta take back whatever else you're doing. Focus on that first. So that's really like the first thing that we all try to like really lock in. So those first 4 or 5 practices, it's gonna be like a lot of just sweat. Guys probably be hitting each other, but it's like let's go ahead and see like where we at as like a bond and like as a unit. More so than like, all right, let's just go ahead and get the flow going. It's kind of like now we gotta start ticking now, because maybe like 3 weeks into it, we'll probably we'll play after the training camp. We'll already be playing tournaments, like preseason tournaments and stuff. Usually last year we played in 2, so I think this year we're playing 2 again. And it's not like we're playing like teams that's in our division, so it's kind of like we'll play like Reyes, who is like a EuroLeague team. So we'll play them like 3 times. Like we could play them 3 times and then have to play them 2 times in the season.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so it's like a lot of familiar and like the excitement behind like the games, and that's like our rivalry game as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a big time like game as far as like for both sides. Whichever arena you go to, it's gonna be insane in there. So,
and I'm curious, how much does like individual experience play a role in how you practice, or how y'all bond together? Like, are there other NBA guys there, or former NBA guys there? Are there other former ACC guys there? Like, does that play a role of any kind?
I think that play a role in like a lot of places. As far as my first year, me and Marquise Reed, that played at Clemson.
Yeah.
Me and him was on the same team
wow.
at Happy Casa. So that was like me and him.
That's cool.
Yeah, being from the same ACC, but also me and him was together at CP3 camp.
Okay.
So
that's nice to have that familiarity.
Familiar face and stuff. D Harris, I already knew about D already. So it was just like already knowing those guys and coming in, like seeing them. Like when I first got in, I saw D Harrison right when the next day before I did my physical and stuff. Like he was walking down the road like in the middle of Brandon.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like this is the first, like the team was already in camp because I ended up I signed later to Brandon, and the team was already at camp, but he was like walking down the road and he was like, "What's up? Like,
what are you doing here?"
Yeah. Like, I just got in yesterday.
Wow.
You about to take off? I'm like, yeah, but he was. So it was like those moments, like they just fall in line. Like nobody expected that to happen, but it just did. Like that's the first person I seen from our team, like actually when I first got into Italy. So this is my first encounter. So to be able to run it,
that makes you feel like everything's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean we about to run it back for a 3rd year. This our year this year. So
is there any way for family and friends in the States to be able to watch your games?
Yeah, there's a app that they do called Days In. It's kind of the only thing is the VPN. You know, yeah, that's the only tough constructive part about it. But it's an app that usually got everything. Now they just started doing the boxing and stuff, like the pay-per-views and stuff. So they're moving up. Because before I want to say it was 11, app called 11, which was showcase all the games. But even with Days In, anytime you like watch something, it's up there. So you got nothing like you can just get out of a game, go to the next game. So it's already like it'll be 4 games on by the time 7:30. It's probably, I mean, if you're lucky, you'd probably be able to watch the 5:30 game. But it's always a good game on. Right?
I caught some of your highlights on YouTube, so YouTube's always got some stuff.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna have to go check this out because I've never watched European basketball before really, and I'd love to see some of the environments you're talking about where the cowbells and the
different environment.
Yeah, you know.
I like the one stadium I do like the most is Milan's. It's just the dome. It just looks insane.
And these have been around, I'm assuming, since the 50s or 60s or 70s or something.
Yeah.
These are all old
well, that's
stadiums.
the European thing, right? The historic.
Everything's old, right?
Yeah.
Did they get there? Yeah, it's still. Yeah, they still got a big. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice. And just how the court is right there, but the way like the fan sits and stuff, and then having like it's just like so much of a like professional setting. As far as like you get in there, it's like actually like. Oh, you got it. It's like one of those games you just gotta lock in. Somehow if you can't lock in, you just got to. Like some like some way. Like yourself, like you not feeling like that game, then I don't really know if you want to play ball. Like it's like just because that arena alone, like should already like bring that out. Like from the shoot around to like the whole day is good. Regardless, we're in Milan. We about to play on Milan court. It's time for us.
Yeah.
Showcase yourself. Like these are some of the top paid guys in our league. So it's like if you can't get ready for this game, like
Right.
and we started off with them like my first 2 years since I've been in Italy. That's been our first game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we lost to my first year by 1, Devon Hall, Virginia. Top of the key 3.
Oh.
Only shot of the game. Only shot he's took the whole game. Yeah, but it was for that to be my first game actually. No, that was the second game. But it was my first game at Milan.
But it lets you know right away what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got game the first game the same exact way. Wayne Selden though. And then after that he just took off. So I'm like, all right. So it's one game is like the understanding of it is like 20 overseas is like 40 in the league.
Oh wow.
Because it's such a hard like far as like
the pace is so much
the
different.
pacing. But if you're getting 20, that's almost like I have 40 on you kind of thing.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
So guys who like had like a 30 ball, like 40, that's really like 80 points. So,
Well, I think I saw you average 14 last year, so that's really that would have been like 28 in the league.
Yeah, for sure.
There's only so many points being scored. So
the high percentage for sure.
Yeah, but that's what overseas is really about, making sure you're taking the smartest shot. Really, like those quick, fast. Like if you're not hitting those shots, it will come back to bite you. Cause just like that, a team can be at a 5 point lead, and then it's like
really hard to dig out.
Let's go ahead and call one. Cause a lot of teams they'll play like they'll play the time. So it's almost like you gotta play your cards. Like we're gonna run something. Now it's time for us to actually run something. And if you don't stop this play, we're gonna keep on running it. And we'll keep on. Flip it. Then we're gonna keep running it.
That reminds me. You talking about like it reminds me of stall ball, like where you really slow things down, and it's just like, can we get going? Can we take some shots? But it's different over there.
Yeah, if you got somebody that's getting into like a groove, coaches do let you play. As far as like, if you see something you think you got a shot, they'll let you play. But just more so like, there's a lot of shots that's a lot tougher because the court isn't as big as the NBA court either. So that as well, like guys are in the paint. So guys, and you can't stay in the paint. It's no defense in 3 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So 5 men can just be down there, just down the whole time. So it's like you really gotta like know your jumper, but also know your work and know your touch as far as backboard and like where your spot's at when you get inside the basket. Because some teams play by their big kind of thing. More teams overseas play by their big.
Oh, okay.
Like this
Old school.
Yeah, this is how we run our defense off our big coverage. Just because it's some of the bigs are older veteran guys. But also they already see the game. They already been around so long, so they see it for already from a different perspective. So what the coach is probably trying to tell them, they already like, no, that's not what we're doing. So just to have that as like a 5 man that can do that and like bring that is already impeccable as far as your defense. Like it shouldn't be any mistakes on your defense really. Like you want to switch, just tell us. But so
it's always awkward to talk about money. So I'm not going to ask you how much money you make, but everybody wants to know what overseas. I looked it up and it said like the average salary is like between $150 and $300. Would you say that's kind of accurate?
Yeah, that's right. That's about right.
That's worth hanging out in Italy.
And money probably spends better in Italy too, right?
A lot better.
Oh, okay. There you go.
A lot better.
Yeah. And I read something about, I think the teams pay for your taxes. Is that right? And pays for like housing and all that kind of
stuff?
Teams
they take care of far as your housing and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Make sure you solidify. Just take care of your well-being. Because at the end of the day, like, we're here for you, but y'all also here for us, So it's also just to make sure that you're in a good spot, but also at the end of the day, mentally, like, make sure that you're in a good
Then what you think about basketball and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Not worried about bills or housing.
Kind of thing. Yep. So that's far as like that perspective of like, we want you here for like us, like kind of thing. But more so like we really want you to buy into what we got for you, kind of thing. So that's why it's no reason for guys that slack on that game overseas. Like overseas is really the time to like actually get better. Really, like just from like the games to like the practices and just like the. I mean, everybody, all the staffs are great staffs and know like they done seen like some of these like they've been in with these NBA coaches. They've seen these NBA coaches, so a lot of these guys already know these NBA coaches. It's just this opportunity is better than the league opportunity. So it's not even about that. It's more so about where can they help you in your game and stuff and like help you like maybe one thing can help you get from the regular LBA to maybe Maccabi. Things like that. Like one like certain things like certain players don't really got to do like far as like to make sure that they're getting paid and what more they do is really like buying into that role. That's what a lot of guys really move like far as like the overseas down the side. Like some guys want numbers, everybody want the numbers, but at some teams you just gotta just play your role and do the best thing to your ability for your team to be successful. Because the thing about it overseas, all you gotta do is just win. You can go on, no matter what, y'all win. Everybody will look good. It don't matter. And that's kind of like a hard thing to like really establish like on the other end of like bringing a whole mess of foreigners or Americans to a team. Like we gotta like re-steam like everybody into one like bracket of this is our mindset. We don't care who's doing this, who's doing that. Long as we're winning, we're getting stops and stuff. Like we're taking control of what we can control. Within all the offense can, all that stuff we didn't worry about itself. Yeah. That's my biggest point. Like I'm not too. We'll score. I know we'll score. Like we get fast, but I know for sure fast break we'll score. But play actions, as long as we got defense, we get stops. Then we'll be at the best of our ability.
Well, let's talk about where it all started. You're a football and a basketball star at Havelock. That's a state. That's back in the Jim Bob Bryant days. You're winning state titles. Yeah. Your junior your junior year, you almost have 1,000 yards receiving. From the outside perspective, people think you're a football guy who also plays basketball. You commit to play Carolina. You get a call from Nick Saban who offers you a scholarship. Everybody's like, wow, this guy is set for life. And before your senior year in high school, you decide to kind of turn your life upside down, don't you?
Yeah. Not in a way. Just wanted to take the route that I really was destined for and what I really wanted to do. For me, football is always like that thing I wanted to play. Like, for instance, when I came out of 8th grade, I went up for a dunk in like 8th grade and I heard like my hip pop, but it kind of like I wasn't like the same after that for like a little bit. Like it was like a slow, like it was times in 9th grade I was like the last one to get to class because my hip was still like bothering me.
Couldn't even walk down the hall.
Yeah, so I was like still like lingering pain and stuff. But I ended up before I got into my freshman year, I was in Tampa Bay Christian Academy. So I was there for like maybe like 3-4 months.
Okay.
And right when I came back, they was trying to get me to play football. But I'm like, I can't really move right now. But nobody was understanding. But Coach Tamika Wiggins at Havelock, she helped me make sure that and Coach King helped me make sure I was getting my hip like
Caleb King, yeah.
what I needed to do. They make sure I went to the doctor and stuff and make sure I did the right protocol as far as like getting it back to its full strength. And that's really what got me back into the football and like being out there with my brother, being out there with my cousin and my guys that I grew up with. That was also like just another intangible to it, being able to play. But then coming into my junior year, it was already like I kind of got to make a decision because my sophomore year when I was playing with Big Shots, I was playing with a team called Raid Nation out of Greenville. And we played.
This is AAU.
Yeah, AAU. We played in Virginia, and at the time, was it Team Loaded? I was the leading scorer for the Big Shots tournament at the time, and Virginia was talking about offering me, but it was like we're not gonna offer him if he's still gonna do the football.
Because you were committed to Carolina at that point.
Yep.
Okay.
And he was like, we won't want to offer him if he still want to play both. So I was like. But that was just by word of mouth from what he was telling me. So I never really like got the full one-on-one on it, but it was more so like I only had like one. You only could choose one really. But after I did get to college, I did notice that it was gonna be tough to actually do what I wanted to do and actually play both sports. Cause
Oh yeah.
yeah, because at the time, Larry Fedora, he was the head coach at the time. Dan Dish, he was the defensive coordinator, who was also he was the scout, who got Mike Hughes.
Okay.
So
in New Bern.
Yep, and so that was like one of like the main.
Right,
main
because the
points.
talk was Roy Williams was going to let you kind of walk on, right?
Yeah.
Well, he said famously, right? I wish someone had told me that he also played basketball like
Right.
that.
It's funny. It was always good to like play against him and like when I did and stuff and just hearing like the things he would say like after the games and stuff. As far as like you supposed to be here, like those, like just hearing that, it brings in the kind of like that impact that you did something right as far as you made the choice for yourself. So that's kind of like that's what always would that like brings that in. And it was just for me, it was just like at the time it was like making the choice, but also just not really worrying about like what else was to come behind the choice and just really just buying into it fully.
You're like, I got to pick one or the other.
Yeah, and then really after I did pick basketball, it was just more so like I knew I had to actually prove myself more than what I already did as far as football. Like football was already taking care of itself just because I also had other pieces around me from Matt Boykin to my brother Darrell. So it was already Taylor Woods. So I already had pieces around me, and then those just helped me like as far as like really explode because I was able to while they're locking in like you're not gonna guard me one-on-one. So it's kind of like all right, let's explode on these options. But as that started to happen, I started to get in the weight room more. I started to work out with my brother. So then everything started to fall in line. I'm starting to, as a young 17, you start seeing letters like coming in. I'm like, oh man. But for me, like seeing my brother letters, like seeing his letters coming the door, like his ESPN posters and stuff, like they were just saying him like, I don't even know how to like really explain like the stacks of like manhood again, and it'll just be like flooding. It was like, dang, like one day I want to get this, and like just having that like that chance in that moment, like to embrace that and see that was also like God given for us, like just embracing it wholly, and then it was just making sure that I was just to myself, like making sure I had the right mindset to do what I really wanted to do, and that was just the hardest thing because it was kind of like nobody really believed me, but it's kind of like now you just got yourself right now kind of thing. So that was kind of really like the main push, and then Team Wall really helped me really take it to a next step. As far as Kendrick Williams, the head of Team Wall, he really embraced as far as me and like what's gonna help me get on the court. And then just the tournaments that guys was there to see other players at the same time. It's still an audition for you, So just being in those showcases, those tournaments, and being able to play against some of the top guys in class, some of the top ranked guys, those was also like a pet peeve for just making sure I was on the right track. As far as if this is what I want to do, I need to play against the best. I can't just play the regular because before I was just playing regular tournaments, but it wasn't like actual competition. It wasn't as much as competition as far as like these guys. Some of these guys probably already going to the league, so it's like just getting into that sense and just already playing against that exposure. Really, that's when I really made that jump and just not even. I mean, then just started playing the men league with my brothers, them. So everything was just like, let me just get used to the game fully and stop really trying to like adjust to my own side of things, but let me just adjust to the physicality. I can work off of that. Because at the end of the day, like once you understand like the physicality side up, as far as like the understanding of like what's fouls, what's not fouls, like as far as defense, that right there really broke down like the understanding of like how to get stops like alone, like one-on-one and stuff. So that's really like it really helped me like buy into, and then that's when like the defensive back like stuff really came out because at the same time I could still press you and stuff like off the ball I'm not worried about off the ball guarding. Yeah. If I gotta guard you off, it's over. On the ball, just make sure I'm doing my schemes and stuff. So it was really like a really jump for me, but also helped me embrace like the individuality of like just myself and like the things I had to do to like put myself on an upper hand. As far as Coach Griffey helped me like with the school where he helped me tremendously. As far as like making sure, not along with Team Wall, but making sure that teams was like coming to see me down at Havelock and actually have teams come. We played White Oak, and that's when Jim Christian, Coach Christian from Boston College, that's when he first saw me because they played North Carolina at North Carolina, and he came down the night before to see me play. So that was like one of the things that really like sold me on them, because he was more so like I want you, not more so like I think you can come here, I think you can have the green light. I had teams that was like kind of like, we'll give you the green light, but he was more so like, you come here, you gonna have to like work for your spot, and like I ain't gonna just get. I know people.
Well, he wasn't gonna lie to you. He gonna tell you this is what it is, and if you want it. Well, I was feel for you too, because you got caught right in between where recruitment changed.
Yeah,
it became a lot of mixtapes online on YouTube on what's the Huddle. Yeah, where nowadays. Because we don't always get a lot of recruiters coming east of Raleigh or outside of the metropolitan areas, and so a lot of kids today rely on the virtual aspect of recruitment. But that literally wasn't a huge thing just yet when you were there. So did you have people come out and watching you play and talking to them after every game, or was it?
Far as well, really no. Griff, he actually like sent out like clips and stuff, like made clips and like sent them out and got teams to like actually come to the gym. So that was like the difference from far as already been at Showcase. A lot of coaches and stuff already coming there, but him actually like pushing it out and like actually calling teams and stuff, making sure that I was able to have these teams come in. So all the praise to him for helping me do that, and Coach Kendrick, because I asked both of them. So just them alone, like actually reaching out and talking to the coaches was the way for when I was in school. Now it's more somebody said, okay, let's see what this is. But it's a whole different scheme now, like far as like NIL, what you can do
no doubt
with an agent and stuff. So all that's such a newcomer, but it's so much money that's been put into play at the same time. So it's a lot, just so much that they gotta try to manage, So I understand like them trying to figure out ways to manage it. It's gonna be too much to manage. Yeah, it's
a lot.
It's just too much.
Very different.
Yeah. It was interesting reading these stories about you telling your family, your coaches, you're like, I'm not gonna play football senior year. I'm gonna focus on basketball, and everybody's response was like, Ky, what are you doing here?
Yeah, that was kind of. It was a long week. I remember coming home to my mom, and she was like, "Are you really like this? Your decision?" And I was like, "Yeah," but she was really like, "I ain't gonna let you slack on it. Then like I'm gonna push you harder than what I push you, like to make sure that you was doing good." But she stayed on top and made sure like I was staying out of school. Like I was saying, Griffey, he made sure I took AP classes, honors classes. So I was taking those classes as far as to help my GPA so I can be able to get into Boston College at the same time. So that was like one of the toughest things for me.
I bet.
Away from the schooling, like my mom don't allow C's and stuff, so you got at least to get 85. But either way, with Seminole, I'm trying to get 85 because I ain't trying to be in school after 2. So after school, he had me making sure I was like working in with the teachers whether I needed extra credit or just to make sure I was high enough grade to where it would help my GPA and stuff and be able to eventually count for a college course. So those things really helped me get the edge as far as me going to BC. But also without Griffey, I couldn't have been able to do that because before when I was in football, I didn't. Honestly, I don't know if I know Coach King said my GPA and everything, like schools love my GPA and my academics and stuff, but I don't know if I was taking the right courses in the classes for me to actually go ahead into as far as like colleges and stuff to have, so I didn't have to go a different route. So that was never it was never brought up to me or like set upon. But
so your focus kind of shifted a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's also like something you'll like to hear because after a while, like after hearing like people going to JUCO and stuff, like for me, I never like going. I didn't know what a JUCO was, so it's kind of like you don't really hear about a JUCO until, but then like you start to hear about it, but then you don't know whether you're gonna be in a situation or not. So that was also like a situation I didn't want to be in, as far as how I see it after college and how I seen like the JUCO system.
No, I mean
work.
BC's a good school.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a great school. It's a great school even from academic standpoint.
Sure.
Yeah. So trying to finish up there. I got like 8 credits left.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what's the degree?
Applied psych.
Okay.
Yeah, and a minor in fine arts.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna get back into the swing of things. I'm gonna make sure I get the degree from my mom and stuff, and make sure I get it for myself. So that's the biggest step for me next is just making sure I get those done and out the way.
Also, deciding to stop playing football in high school and playing basketball, some high schools, that might not be that big a deal. But at Havelock High School, when you choose not to play football anymore and play basketball, that's
football coaches walk into the hallway like, don't, like.
Yeah, it was kind of some animosity through there.
It's tough, I'm sure, but you got to do what was right for you.
Yeah, man, you really gambled on yourself there, didn't you?
I did take because not even
especially when you got a scholarship right there in your hand.
Yeah, and not even knowing what's like the season gonna bring, but just knowing. To me, it was just like after a while, it's just like it's time to get up and work. So Preston Bryant, I'll work out with Preston a lot, and we'll just get in the gym. Like, hey, I ain't trying to be left here. I'm trying to get out. I want to make sure I'm getting better, like by the days and stuff, and just working out with him and just keep on going.
I didn't realize you trained with Preston.
Yeah, cool. I trained with Preston.
He's trained a couple people.
Oh yeah. Preston trained a lot of people.
He has.
A lot of people.
You were following a love though. You didn't love football the way you love basketball.
Nah, I didn't. I just always played it. I got a love for it. Like I think I still got it. But it just wasn't. It was just that.
Nothing like basketball.
Yeah, looking back now, do you feel like you made the right choice?
Yeah, I always think about what it would be, but
sure.
Sliding doors.
At the same time, after a North Carolina game, the head coach for Denver, not Denver, Baltimore, at the time.
John Harbaugh.
Was it John?
The Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens.
It's John
Harbaugh.
He's been there for like
okay,
yeah.
He was his daughter. I think she went to her school.
Oh she did.
But he saw me and my pops after the game and was asking me like, you don't think about playing football?
Oh no!
Wow! So it still continued.
Yeah,
we still kept going.
We get after I declared for like the draft and stuff, like our first call is the Baltimore Ravens asking will I do football.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was still like
they still had you on the radar.
Yeah, it was still like a continuation thing.
Wow.
So.
What about at BC? Did football coaches there ever talk to you?
I mean,
or they knew to leave? Like, certain programs are king at that different schools.
Adagio he didn't really talk much.
Okay.
He didn't really coach. Adagio didn't really talk much, but he said a couple words, but he never really like try to like push it. But our head coach, Coach Christian, was already like, nah, you're not playing football anyways. But it was already a sad thing. Yeah, I wasn't going.
That's fun though to be recruited at that level where John Harbaugh is giving you a call.
Also a gamble in that football. You're decent. Football. You're 6'1". What are you in high school? 6'1", 175, 180.
Yeah.
I mean, a little even small for football, but okay. But basketball.
Yeah.
You're pretty small for basketball, right? As far as going, you want to play college and NBA, maybe.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, in a certain degree, but I think it's all about tactics. Once you like figure out like your body and how you can work, and then actually like figuring out like other people's schemes, like as far as like they go-to moves and stuff. Once you start to study those, it just help you all around. So once I got to college and actually like, okay, this is like the film for this guy and stuff. Like once I started actually like locking in on like those things and making sure that I was doing the right things to like, all right, this is what you like to do going left. You like this between behind going left. I'm gonna just take this between away and just see if you can just like this behind, just so I can get it one still. Cause then like a lot of times just playing that trick with guys, like as far as like on the game, they'll start to see that you're like trying to like count their dribbles. But for me, I'm just gonna count your dribbles the whole way. Like I'm gonna count it on the way down and the way up. So regardless of if you got a motion going or since I'm already counting as far as like the timing of it.
It's funny listening to you how much you're talking about film and stuff, because when you think of Ky Bowman, you think of high flying, dunking, athlete. You're really a cerebral type the way you're approaching the game.
Yeah, I watched a lot of, and just my pops alone, like just really like him really like pushing it on me as far as like you play, this is what you want to do with your life, right? Like you need to really buy it in, and just like the older guys as far as like not just the league but also like Kobe, like LeBron, like Dwayne Wade, like them
students
like,
of the game.
Yeah, just even that, like just away from the game, like their like business side, their business category, how they move and put pieces into play. That's also like an interesting thing for me to be able to see and like understand. So I'm able to do those things at the best of my ability to give myself an upper hand as far as what I want to do in life and after basketball. So it's a lot of just breaking down like things to like the simplest form that I can. So right now, like my main thing is just like breaking down like the actions that I don't see, that I like these home run passes that I try to throw, but like just trying to break them down to like, all right, we don't really need this right now. Because beforehand, like when I first came to the league, my main problem was like I'll try to hit this home run pass, but now you got guys just as athletic as you. You can't always hit this home run pass. But it was to the point like I was already like these was the only passes I was working on. Like I was working on all these. So I thought I started to keep on working on them through the summer, going into the COVID year of like workouts and stuff with the Warriors. I was already snapping the ball to the corner with ease, left and right. So it was already like I was already adapted to the system, to the game, and just film alone like helped me realize that being at the Chris Paul camp, seeing him in person, seeing like being there with the guys I played with in college, played against in college as well, Josh Okogie, Grayson Allen and stuff, like seeing them like there, Donovan Mitchell, like having them at the camp with me was also like a kind of like a motivation, but also like a bigger piece of motivation, like more things you need to do to get there kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Like you haven't done it yet kind of thing, like
sure.
You need to do more, like so like really like it's kind of like that was like the missing piece for me that I wasn't like really like brought into as much. Like I'll watch games, but I wasn't like breaking it down like to the way that I was making the reads now as far as the game. So that was just like the most understanding that I really could like make for myself to like make sure that I was like getting as much as I could from the game.
Well, you mentioned some of the competition that you played against, and one of the upsides of not playing for a North Carolina ACC school is that you get to beat those guys.
Yeah.
You get to beat the Grayson Allens and the Dukes. You get to beat the NC States and shine on the court against the UNCs. And what was that like? I mean, I'm sure growing up, you're looking at those schools and you're cheering for those teams, and now you're beating them on a Tuesday night or Thursday night.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was different. It was insane. Like just to like be present in the moment, like knowing that you're from here, you traveling back to North Carolina. Like I'm traveling back 6. All right. And then we get there. I'm probably I gotta have Bojangles somewhere where we go. We gotta.
That's
have,
right.
That's
one of the main stops.
I gotta find a Bojangles. So Coach Wu already know. Hey, Coach Wu, if I'm out, I'm trying to get Bojangles. That's the one thing. If I'm because got sweet tea.
Sure,
everywhere, so.
That's right.
But just being able to play in front of those atmospheres and just being able to actually relive myself of this is what y'all is gonna get for as life I can, and just really embracing the moments for what it was, as far as being able to come back and family and friends being able to see me play at the next level. So that was also like an accomplishment. And also being able to have my family down there was that was a good experience and just like a good feeling, like to have them to come and see a game and just have them all be able to witness me like come and play and stuff. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you do play for the name on the back of your jersey, but at the same time, you still play for
the hometown kid, man. That's,
the hometown, then all the people that support you.
That's right. That's
so
right.
As you like supporting yourself, there's a lot of people that you like. Your image is worth a lot of people's images.
And you talking about the BC coach that came down and went to, I think it was maybe your last game at Havelock, and the thing that stood out to him was how both teams like gave a standing ovation for the last game. The respect that you're, I don't want to say a brand, but that your image had on that school, and that still exists at that next level too, where even though you're playing for BC, it's you coming back to North Carolina, they know your name, they know who you are, and that's huge.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. Like Carolina Duke games. Oh man, Duke game crazy. Yeah.
Well,
The rankings aren't going to help you here, right?
Yeah,
That's what the freshmen.
The quote that Daniel Griffey said. That was a Daniel Griffey quote, but he was quoting you.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the who was that? That was
It's like Grayson Allen and
Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, the freshman.
Wendell Carter, that group.
the point. Travis Duvall.
Yeah.
That's who it was. That's exactly.
Because you were ranked, what, 324th?
Yeah.
And those guys were all top 10,
out of
top
reach.
20.
I was
Yeah.
out of reach.
So you walked up to him before the game and said the rankings ain't going to save you.
That's
today,
right.
guys.
So was.
That's cold-blooded, guy.
Nah, guys,
When you get on the court, you got to be that way.
guys is cold blooded to me. Man. That's what,
Sure.
You gotta do it back.
The rankings are not going to save you today, fellas.
I love quotes like that.
Well,
Especially when you
and
go out there
Zach's
and score
talking,
30.
Zach's talking about it. You know, your basketball recruiting is legendary at this point. You know, you're offered by almost everybody in the country, but when it comes to in-state, nobody was giving you a lot of love, were they?
Yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is that like after 7 Woods signed,
With Carolina.
South Carolina tried to get me. So it was kind of like
Okay.
they wanted me, and I wasn't trying to be nobody's second choice either.
Nice.
Like, that was my other thing. I'm not about to be your second pick, but at the same time, with what made it so genuine about Coach Christian was just the fact that him really telling me like this is how it's gonna be. Like I'm not here to really give you this for easily and like let you.
We want you, but
control
you still have to
things.
work for it.
Yeah, but you gonna have to build your pieces. You gonna have to see that you actually deserve it. Like when I first went to BC, I wasn't starting as the point. So that was kind of like, to me, it was kind of like, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I think I'm playing the best of my ability. But I guess at the time, it was just the confidence of me being out there. But then Syracuse, just let me play. And then that was the first time Syracuse came out the zone, and probably they ended up going man to man on us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Out of that.
it was crazy.
You love to
It was
you love to
crazy.
see it force a team to change.
Yeah, and it was like to know that they never do that, to see them actually like get out of it. It was like, oh, we actually broke y'all today. Like we actually we broke y'all. It was not
Won the mental game.
Yeah,
man.
and they had Titus Battle, Brissett. So they had some problems.
Well, Zach mentioned the line from the famous line now from Roy Williams about, I wish somebody would have told us he played ball. And Joe Gilio, the News and Observer writer then at the time, wrote this great long-form feature on you and Jerome Robinson, how you both got away from North Carolina.
Falling through the cracks.
He's
That's
a Raleigh
right.
kid.
Yeah.
And you both go to Boston College and are just killing the in-state schools. And Griffey, he's quoted all throughout it. He's like, I called Roy, I called Jeff Lebo, I called State, I called Mark Gottfried, I called Wake Forest.
We did our part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys were just
You
like,
had your chance.
no, thank you, right?
Yeah, East Carolina was bogus.
Oh, that was the one, right? You were like, I wanted to go there and just never got a
you
call
were
back.
dying to go to ECU, right?
ECU would have been right here.
Yeah, right in the backyard.
Yeah. They
And,
just
and
opportunity.
Lebo said something in the story too. He was like,
Yeah.
why didn't nobody tell us or something?
they ain't try hard enough. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He lived right down here.
Wow.
It's okay. It was all for the better.
Well, here's how Ky showed the in-state schools they made a mistake. In his 12th game in his freshman year at Boston College, they played Fairfield, and he goes for 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. Leads his team in every single category in his 12th game at Boston College. Unfortunately, that was a loss to Fairfield. 2 games later, scores 30 over the Syracuse in the Syracuse game, puts up 96 points. The Boston College does. You score 33 points versus Carolina. That's a game where you're like, y'all should have signed me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one where he mentions at the end. Where he's like,
right.
well, I
Freshman
mean,
year. How many not a lot of freshmen in the ACC
Yeah.
put up 33.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
no, that's all. Just to do it in that atmosphere and in front of the crowd and stuff, and just the team as well. I mean, it was a different moment.
Well, when you played Duke, Carolina State, was there a chip on the shoulder in those games?
At the same time, it was, to me, every game had a chip on the shoulder.
Every game.
It was already to the point where I was already overlooked a lot. And I was just like already in the mindset of like, this is all I'm doing. Like in college, I was really determined to finish my work as far as whatever I had, just to make sure I already understood the professionalism of whatever time I do got. I'm by myself right now, and I can always go back to the gym. So a lot of nights that I already like, far as any night of the day, I'll already be back in the gym on the gun, just shooting and stuff. Or if not, just really back in the gym with my teammates and stuff. Just because it's better to be doing that than just be out and not really like working on anything and not working on your game. So I was just became adapted to like just doing that. So sometimes I'll just wake up, all right, it's 3, all right, I might as well just go. I probably not gonna go back to sleep today.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I might as well just go. Because at the same time, I had so me being a minor in fine arts, I had a ceramics class that was at like 8 o'clock.
Oh wow!
So it was kind of like
that's mind blowing to me. Like, I forget that like when you guys are out there playing, you still have these other academic responsibilities.
And for me, the thing for me is that I was very in touch with like most of my professors as far as like making sure that I would reach out to them and talk to them. But with my arts professors, that was probably the easiest like professors I could like easily talk to, and they like very much understood that I was gonna come in and like finish my work and stuff.
They probably didn't have a ton of athletes in those classes, right?
No, not at all. I mean, there's a lot of people would drop the art because it's kind of like the BC like the basic art wasn't like a basic art. It was kind of like sit and go ahead. I want you to go ahead and draw this picture right here for us. And then it was kind of, all right, we're going to go ahead and step into charcoal and stuff. So it was already advanced, like, but it was called the basics. So a lot of people was getting caught off guard by, like, what the class was
I would have
called.
thought that would have been, like, art history or something like that.
A lot of people was dropping it. But just, like, being able, like, to have that communication with them and, like, knowing I could tell them that, once I got done, like, with the gym, I'll probably, if I got done at, like, 5, I'll go right to the ceramics room, and I'll had the code for the room, so I'll get in, do my stuff, and I'll just leave.
What's your fine arts activity of choice now at 27?
Drawing.
I was gonna say you draw.
Drawing. Yeah. Really, I like everything as art, but what I want to get into is piano, back into piano.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that as like another art.
Did you play back in the day?
I played in middle school. I started to play again over the last couple summers and stuff, but it's been hard for like getting the piano out there, but just trying to get more like musical in tone. I played the guitar, so it's been like that's been like my new like search of art and stuff, because I really like drawing and stuff. I wanted to find like a new stench of art.
Well, let me ask you this: being in Italy, is that part of living there? Is occasionally getting to go to a museum or an opera or something like that?
There's just so many museums. The thing for me this year, I'm gonna definitely go to a lot more. The thing for me, like last year, it was just so much as far as like time complex, as far as scheduling.
Still getting used to everything.
Yeah, as far as like the schedule, 5:30, and just figuring out like how far everything is, and like certain places. Certain places was a little different. As far as like you have 18 wheelers on the back roads. Like, and it's like just a two lane, but it's like the 2 lanes where the trees is like really, they're close to there's
not a lot of room for.
It's not a lot of room. So I was like, at night I wouldn't try to much so take those rides, because a lot of truck drivers are out at night, out there. But at the same time, it's also like you won't miss them though. You won't, because they got the trucks out there, as far as like the 18-wheeler, the bulldogs and stuff. They're hooked up to like a point of like nice lights, big old flag, and so it's a lot going on. So it's like you gotta like kind of like see the lights of it.
I'm sure it was intimidating. In spot trying to figure out how to travel. And stuff.
Like I ended up taking the train from Milan by myself, and that was like never again. Like like it wasn't that I took the public one as well. Okay. So it's kind of like whoever get on, you gotta like know your stop.
Sure.
So it's kind of like, I'm just risking
it's a lot, man.
Yeah, so the whole way I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I gotta stay up now. I can't really sleep. So it was kind of, but I was thankful for like the experience, like pushing myself to actually do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was like, okay, we got to do it.
Expanding some boundaries. That's right.
That's right.
Sophomore year, Ky beats #1 Duke. That's Zack says the rankings are not going to save you today's fellas. Goes for 30 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. He's 1 assist short of a triple-double. They beat State that year. Ky beat State as a freshman.
Sorry, JJ. Big State fan
here. Junior year, man, some numbers. Goes for 38 in a win over Wyoming. Goes for 44 in an overtime loss to Hartford. Goes for 37 in a win over number 11 Florida State, and junior year you're like, I can't do anymore, can't prove anymore. It's time to declare for the draft.
I really thought sophomore year wasn't.
Oh, you thought sophomore year was it?
I thought so, but I just didn't have as much as like the things with is today, as far as getting an agent and stuff. How you can do that nowadays is so much more helpful. So just hearing it from one person and stuff is kind of like this all you got to rely on. But from a different standpoint, like if I was hearing news from other people and like hearing like feedback and stuff, then I felt like my attention would have been to lead my second year, because at the time I was also leading that rebounds and stuff, so it was kind of like a good area for me. When I first my summer when I first went out to LA, I was working out with Noah Roach, who like got a lot of NBA guys, DJ Wilson, Russell Westbrook, Biggs Mabiamo, like all those guys was like working there and stuff. Michael Carter Williams, so all of them was like working there, but they was kind of like, why you leave? Like, why you leave? So it was kind of, to me, it was kind of like, I didn't really know, I didn't really know how to like do anything. Like this is my first time like
It's all brand new.
doing any of this, so and then like being the first time for like somebody from my family too. So that was also like kind of like a stench in the back, and just trying to figure everything out, and like knowing that I got niece and nephew, I got other people that I'm able to help like come on the way up, and just like really like embracing it and understanding it and taking every life experience that it comes with, as far as for the better, and making sure that I'm able to pass it down as far as to the youth or other people that may need help or may need to see the situation from a different angle. So that's also been like a big like key factor on like the back of my mind, like all the time, as far as like when I am in overseas or when I am in the league, like how can like these stories like help like other people like that's in my life, or help like other people that needs that needs that reassurance about things they're going through and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at your numbers for sophomore year. No wonder you thought about going pro. You 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a half. Shot 80% from the free throw line. Shot 42% from the floor. Yeah. You're thinking that's I'm not going to improve on that too much. Let's go pro.
So it was already like I'm shooting 40. So that was already like at the time it was like a big thing. But like as the year started to go on, like now I got after Jerome leaving sophomore year, I got to take.
He declared.
Yeah, he declared. So I got to take a lot more of these risky shots. So my percentage ain't as high as at the same time, but at the same time, it wasn't that I was taking bad shots, but it's like I got to take these.
Someone
you're taking a lot more.
I got to take. So it's like if my percentage was down, it doesn't mean that I wasn't a bad shooter. It's just that
they're leaning on you a little bit more.
These are just shots I got to take for us to get hope and stuff. So.
Yeah, junior year, 19 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists, steal and a half, playing almost 40 minutes a night. You led the nation in minutes.
Yeah.
You're 39.4 to be exact. So you came out for like 30 seconds a game.
Probably, I came out for 30 seconds. I know what game it was too. It was probably Duke. I played Duke at Duke, and I came out for 30 seconds. Zion got a steal, and he tried a 360 windmill or something. Luckily,
I gotta go back in. Hang on a second.
Yeah, luckily he missed. I came out for like, as I was saying, like it's compared to like the college is like overseas, but just at a professional level.
Yeah.
Like it came out for like 30 seconds. Next thing I know, we down 15.
Oh.
It was that fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
So every other game you didn't come out at all.
Yeah.
You played 40.
Hey, coach, we might.
Wow.
If I catch a
Can't
crowd,
risk it.
Can't risk him off the floor for one possession.
That was one.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And you had a great career. What was the frustrating thing about playing at Boston College? Y'all were just struggling to get wins.
Yeah, that was the hardest thing. Some guys being able to get higher talent level, but at the same time, it wasn't. We had games we should have won, but it was just that IQ level of, just that's where that IQ level really started to come in from guys who've seen the game and guys who actually like played it and seen it. And you'll be able to see that difference as far as when the games get close and towards the end of the games where guys' IQ are as far as holding the ball, as far as making the right plays and calling the right plays or the sets and stuff. And those just became things that kept on killing us at the end of the games. Yeah. Like end up losing to Virginia sophomore year by 1. Yes, when they was number 1, we just beat somebody at home too. So it was already like was already going in good spirits. Then we played Virginia #1 at Virginia. So
Yeah, you win 25 games your senior year at
Yeah.
Havelock, and then the next year, your freshman year, you win 9 games at
Yeah.
Boston College.
it was
That's an adjustment, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't really much of a struggle because I knew like the system I was coming in we was like restarting, but at the same time like losing those games, but also like going around like the school and stuff, like people still believing in you as far as because of how you dedicate yourself and how you like take care, how I would condone myself away from the court and stuff was like a big factor that really like not made me like really think about how much of what the record had an effect on us, but at the same time had how much it affected me away from the court, but just really making sure that I was still motivated to keep on like working and knowing that my team was motivated to keep on working, knowing that we had to get some more pieces, but also at the same time we had to figure things out. Also having a young group, also having guys who haven't really played that much. So because we didn't have any, I want to say we had two seniors my senior year, and I think one of them ended up leaving. Daryl ended up leaving, so we had one senior. No, we ended up getting the 5th year, Connor Tavy. And so we only had 2. So it was kind of like, these are we only got these 2. Older than everybody was sophomore and freshman. So it was kind of like everybody else wasn't really, didn't really know how to maneuver at college yet, was still like figuring things out. So I think with teams in that sense of college, like those guys that got those guys who understand the experience of being a professionalism, making sure you take care of yourself and take care of things, those is what's going to lead to the successful part as far as your season, your and whatever the teams brings to you. So that's just what we didn't have at the time, but we just needed that leadership role. So that's when me and Jerome went out to LA for that summer. I think that really like changed the impact of how we took the game and how serious we was. Like even when we came back, it wasn't like me and Jerome would guard each other. So it wasn't like me and Jerome was like always on like teams or anything. No, we would guard each other.
Okay.
Yeah, we're battling in practice. Hey, my boy AJ Turner, Nico Pop. So it was a lot of like just battles. Like even in college practice, it was never like Coach Christian wasn't too like light on us.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're gonna get after it.
And won 19 games sophomore year, so y'all really got it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should have. We had a lot of games that we
should have won 20 at least, though.
Yeah. Should have played Western Kentucky at Western Kentucky in NIT. That was a little shaky game. It was. I think the experience of actually traveling there, we should have won that game. We just had guys wasn't adjusted to the style of play. Like as I was saying, it's just like that was really like the time. Like March Madness and NIT is really that like NBA schedule. Like if you guys really want to be in the league, like this is, you don't know who you're gonna see the next night. So as far as from the guard standpoint, Damian Lillard, you probably see Steph, you probably see Kyrie the next night. So you really gotta go ahead and switch that more to leave whatever you did last game, whether it was good or bad, like bring the good with you, like, and fix the bad stuff, like, or else you're just gonna keep on hunting you, and you don't have like time to even like really think about those things. Like by the time you get in the game, it's already like, let me go think about the next game, So even like for us when we played in the ACC tournament, like we played the first day, and we ended up playing NC State the second game. Then we ended up playing who was the third game? Can't think of who was the third game, but just that repetitive,
back.
Yeah. Like you already having to jump to the next one, but also like making sure we was trying to take care of our bodies, like getting the massages like before the game and stuff, just make sure that we was fueled for the game. Cause we could tell that like guys was like this right here, it feel like a regular AAU tournament kind of thing.
Sure.
Cause it's not like you playing a back to back. It's almost like you gotta get up. We gotta watch film. Let's go ahead and get this whole game. We gotta come back.
It's fast
And
paced.
we stand at the same spot. Everything's the same, so it's repetitive. So it really, like, if you really want it, you'll see how much more guys will like buy in and lock into those like the small things. Far as like how they leave the gym, how they come, like their face, like their expressions and stuff. Like what are they like intangibles that they're bringing along with, like a lot of those things like really show how much like a guy is serious about his craft. Like for me, my only thing this year is my books, my PlayStation. I'm gonna have my shoes. That's all I need. My books, my PlayStation. Everything else, I'll be fine.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Junior year, you declare, you go through the whole process, the combine, you meet with teams, draft night comes around. Are you confident you're going to get drafted that night?
Yeah, I was confident. I was confident like just ended up wherever I was going in, doing 19 workouts.
Wow, you worked out for a lot of teams.
So I did a lot of workouts because there was still a lot of as I was saying, like shooting the 3-ball, like that was like the main component, but just the point of these are the shots I gotta take, you know. So for us to win, I got it. If the percentage is bad, but we gotta win, it don't even matter to me. So it was more so like really having to like reestablish myself and solidify like who I am and where I like me being at BC and like the guy that I was. So me being in these workouts, some of these workouts I was trying to like track down guys, like guys getting out of workouts. That's what guys don't say. That's what happens. Guys get out of workouts. They don't want to see you to work. It's cool. Yeah. So you
don't want to go up against certain guys.
Yeah, because you can potentially hurt their stock.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So you see that happen. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm here now. Like I might as well go ahead and work out there. So that will happen. But at the same time, I think it was destined like for me to do it like this. And just like once I did get that call from Steve after the draft, it's kind of like
you weren't disappointed for too long.
Yeah,
when the two rounds went by, you didn't get drafted. You got a call pretty quickly.
Yeah, we had to deal with New Orleans Pelicans, but it wasn't solidified like an actual. It was more like a two-way, but not really a two-way. It's kind of more my rights, more so. That's what I got from it. But so that was kind of like a shifty little like that was like, okay, nah, this is kind of weird. But I also thought the Clippers was gonna grab me.
Okay.
So that was one of the things I really thought. I didn't think the Warriors at all.
Oh.
I don't know why, but I had a great workout. At the Warriors. But I just didn't think they was because of how their picks was lined up that year.
Okay.
So at the time I was just like, all right.
Well, Marcus Thompson in The Athletic has this great piece on Ky and the reason that they.
I am so sorry.
Oh, go
I'm gonna write it down. I had an interview with this fisheries guy.
Oh gosh.
I know, and
yeah, this is going longer than I thought.
The conversation is fantastic. We didn't expect
it to go like this.
To do this good. I'm just gonna step out for a second.
Okay.
I'll talk about the Warriors, and I'll be back.
All right.
I apologize.
No, you're good. I didn't think we were going to talk this long to Ky.
Well, when I scheduled-
There's a lot to talk to.
this morning,
There's a
I
lot
was
to talk
like-
to with Ky, though.
I had no idea about all that.
We'll get you out of here quick. What is it a thing where when the second round is going on, and obviously from you probably dream your whole life you want to get drafted, but when you're deep in the second round and you're like, maybe it's better I don't get drafted so I can pick where I get to go instead of somebody picking me, or you still want to get drafted?
Now when I first got there to the venue, like my main thing, I wanted to be back with my family and stuff. But at the same time, it was.
Were you in Havelock watching the draft?
No, I was at the draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
wow.
Yeah, what's funny is
Was this at Madison Square Garden? Or was it that year?
No, Barclays.
Barclays.
Yep.
Okay, that's right.
Jordan Poole was sitting right in that diagonal from each other.
Oh wow.
So it was kind of So it was kind of interesting. To really now is this and now is, so it was just crazy to actually all those things tie together and just remember itself how it went and stuff. But just going in I really wanted to actually just be back with my family and enjoy with my brothers and sisters and stuff.
Yeah.
That was the main thing for me. But at the same time, it was just that this is just that one lifetime experience that you really get and just being able to enjoy to the fullest for them and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the main component for me, just staying and stuff and just being there for it. But because I really me, a shy person, I really didn't want to actually be out there. But if it had to be, I would have done it. Yeah.
Well, we talked about you having a chip on your shoulder at Boston College. You sit there that whole night, you don't get drafted. Is that another chip you put onto your shoulder?
Yeah, it turned into something different. It made me Ky for sure. That's really the day that Ky was Ky. Yeah. So it really that was really just the established point of you haven't done it yet, So keep going, keep moving, keep building on.
Got to keep proving
whatever.
myself.
Yeah, whatever you got to perfect and just keep on going doing it until you get that. And just knowing that in my head, I was also at the time I was still young, but also thinking this is what I chose, and really building myself to be able to stand with that and just stay with it regardless of if things didn't go how I expected, but also just making sure I was able to just bounce back from that and just repeat on the grind and figure out what's the next step for me.
The Marcus Thompson piece I mentioned in The Athletic, he talked about how one of the reasons you mentioned you had a good workout with Golden State, but they said one of the reasons they called you up after the draft was this interview you had with them that blew them away. That you walked in there and you talked to them and you were like, the way that interview went, you were like, I wasn't expecting that. Apparently, you went in there and it just came out of you, talking about your family, your father passing away when you were younger, your brother getting in some trouble in high school, your mom and the sacrifices she made driving you to Raleigh and stuff. And man, you just kind of laid your heart out to bear there, didn't you?
Yeah, it's crazy because it was so much, but it was just the way the room was just set up, and like that's what was.
Oh, it kind of felt like you were able to talk like that.
Yeah, and that's how. I don't even how I put it. Like just how like the presence of it and how it just was just very genuine.
It didn't feel like a job interview?
Nah, it felt more of like a genuine like just
conversation.
Yeah, like just like Ashley, tell us about yourself, the kind of thing. And it was more so as like I got deeper, they started going in with deeper questions, but it wasn't more so like deeper questions, it was just more so me releasing more of myself to like letting them really understand who I am, and they really took that for what it was,
I'm assuming it wasn't like that in any other interviews you did.
No, I actually don't think so. Yeah. That's why I was telling. I was just having this talk with my pops 2 days ago about the whole thing about
that interview.
Yeah, and then just like the scene and like remembering like the room, because I already had my like suit for today. For my interviews, I had a suit for my interviews before the draft. So I had my interview suit when I first put it on. Like, I'm really about to like do these interviews. Like, I don't really composure as far as like not really butterflies, but just like what are they gonna ask me? And the main thing, it's always gonna be about my brother. So that was always a component of like, where do y'all go from here, kind of thing. For far as me and like far as me and his relationship. But I think a lot of people didn't expect me to respond the way I responded. To me, I was just like more so like it's gonna be my brother regardless. Like he's done the things he's done, he's better now, so that's all that matters and stuff. And like the main thing was like, is he coming with you kind of thing? Like what is? So they wanted to know like all the its and bits of like everything, and I understood that because they're trying to give you all this money too. They're trying to invest in you, and this is a big investment for them, not just so it's not just something. It's a small investment for them to this job. So I understood like them kind of like breaking down and trying to ask me those questions, but even with the word, it was just more so like genuine, more so like y'all really want to embrace it. Where I felt with some teams, it was like let's just hear about it. What
basketball?
Let's just hear. But not so much even basketball. More so like, where do you like categorize yourself or like rank yourself and stuff? That's kind of like more so like a open-minded ended questions, just so they can like dictate like how they like perceive you more so, which was kind of like not weird, but just like unexpected, because there's also been places where we did like the personality test and stuff kind of thing, and it's like I'm the kind of person like my personality show like it's like it's genuine, and like them like having us do that, I was kind of like, you're gonna just have us sit down. It's 5 dudes and we're all at like this round table. We all like and we're all like circling answers, but it's like we can't take this serious right now. It's like we just got done working out. We're done for like now it's time for us to like to chill out, laugh about like things that happened during the workout and stuff. Because a lot of the workouts that we had is these guys you're gonna be end up seeing like as you go around the world, as you travel around the world. Like a lot of my close friends are was in like my workouts.
Guys you come up with playing AAU ball and stuff.
So not even that, just like in my draft workouts.
Okay.
Like James Palmer, like me and James Palmer played at Nebraska. Me and him been through a lot of workouts together. It was like one of those things like, we already know we about to be on like, so we'll do a lot of 3-on-3s like in the workouts, but we were like, we on teams. Oh man, it's about to be a crazy day. But we always like had like somebody that you knew like in your workout or something, or somebody from a region. So it was always like you was connecting. So almost at the same time as you competing for a job, but at the same time you also hoping that these guys are getting their dues as well. So that was a thing for me as I saw it, like as far as like me going through, like still hoping everybody get the best opportunity they do get, as far as whatever's out there and stuff. So
You've mentioned your family earlier on. You're playing. You're thinking about them when you're playing. That interview you did with them. Apparently, you talked a lot about your family. How much of a role does your family play in your career and why you're playing professional basketball?
I think it plays a tremendous role. Just from them alone, pushing me every day just to be better as myself. My nieces and nephew, I think that's even another motivation for me. Just to show them that there's other things in the world that you can go and see, like visit and like actually follow your dream. Been like a big thing for me, not just to preach for my family, but for like the youth and stuff. Like, and that's like what you want to do, like invest in yourself into it. Do the right things by yourself to make sure that you get there. And not have a way something that's gonna hold you back. Because if you're gonna be able to do things to the ability that you can, then you might as well invest into that thing. I mean, at a young age, you're able to, try everything out. And then as you get old, start to trickle down of what you really, really accept and really like and really enjoy, and what's really your calling. So that was always what my sisters and brothers like saw in me, like far as like you need to embrace who you are, kind of thing, and like embrace everything you do.
How was your niece and nephew?
I got 16 of them. So
whoa,
yeah, I got 16 nieces and nephews.
Wow.
Total. Yeah, oldest 16.
I was gonna say they range in age, I would imagine.
Yeah. And the youngest is, one.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So right there. Yeah. So it's interesting. Just being around them. It's just being around them. I feel like my leadership is gonna be at a different perspective than what it was my previous year. Just actually like spending time with them, but also helping them understand and like taking that patient role as a leader, but also as their uncle and somebody that they really look up to. So it's kind of like as I go through the days, I start to see myself like things that I done with them like start to carry away to like my everyday life in a sense and stuff. So just alone like being shy like around them, it's whatever goes around them. Like, so just like having them with me, they help me embrace like the full Ky Bowman, the full this is who I am when I'm with my family as well, kind of thing. And I feel like I didn't really like I excluded that like from myself after once I did get to the league, because of all like the cameras and stuff, like everything going on, trying to really like not really worry about, but they really showed me just embrace it, just embrace it for what it is, embrace it for them, embrace it for the people that love you. That was the really biggest thing for me.
And a lot of the interviews you've done, you've talked about your brother. You mentioned him a few times today, Michael. Mm-hmm. He's really been a big, really supports you, really pushes you a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, him and my brother, David Carter. So he and both of them just every day, just always want to know like what's the move, like what's going on, and really make sure that my mental's good. So even from that standpoint, just always, whether it's overseas, just hearing from when I'm overseas and stuff, like that really, because it helps bring back those memories of, being younger and actually like going through that, but also it gives you that set of, the set of like calmness that you need for like to finish the day, to have that beautiful day. Just remembering like the things that you did, like looking up to like the things that you got now, like seeing it. So just being grateful, being grateful for everything.
You signed with Golden State, and you're going to play with them, and then all of a sudden, man, that team just kind of goes topsy-turvy. Yeah. Steph Curry gets hurt, D'Angelo Russell gets hurt, and man, you find yourself you're playing a lot.
Yeah.
December, I'm looking at your game log from December. and you go from playing like 15 minutes a night to like 35 minutes a night. You had a great December, averaged 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. December was that was a nice month in the life of Ky Bowman, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So, and at the same time as all that going on, right when things started clicking for me is when COVID hit.
Yeah, that's the COVID year.
Yep. So that was just the big trajectory of like the whole scale of like what's next, like for me, as far as the situation as far as I was in, because I was on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, you were going back and forth between that and the G League, right?
Yeah, so I was on a 2-way, but I was on a 2-way 1-year deal. So
all right,
which was kind of like
you can only play so many games, right?
Yeah, and at the time, I think last year they finally changed like the days as far as like the 2-way. I mean, I think I broke the system for you. So y'all welcome or something.
Well, they wanted you to play as many games. I remember read something where Steve Kerr was like, they to finagle it some kind of way where they could keep you up as much as humanly possible. Like they gave days off instead of practicing, so that wouldn't count for you practicing.
Oh yeah, I couldn't be at practice.
Yeah,
can't travel.
Right.
So there's certain things that they had for the guidelines of the league that you could not do, as far as if you was on a 2-way that counts towards your days and stuff. So it was just really trying to make sure that we was doing the right things and making sure that we had the days that I could play or what. So, but at the end of the day, you might as well just let me play. That's why just let me play.
And he had some great quotes. He loved y'all. A lot of the young guys were getting playing. You and Pascal and Jordan Poole was getting playing time, and he was loving. It was a really rough season. Y'all were collecting a lot of L's with just decimated by injuries, but he was getting to see a lot of young players, and he said we would love to keep you there. He was very complimentary.
Yeah, he was. He really was a great dude and great for me. Like for that to be my first coach, it was for him to see how he coached, like being a player coach, and like really like I'm gonna take some stuff from him. That's why the way his coaching style and how he carried himself, as far as like being a player coach and really like seeing what's better for the players, really seeing how the players need us to help them and stuff was really like a big thing that he really really had a point of emphasis on, and really wanted to make sure that the guys understood that we're all like together in one, but y'all got to let me know so I can get everybody on board, kind of thing. Like it can't just be just me. Like he wanted to make sure that everybody, like far as the whole gym is on board, like with what's going on. So that was kind of like, that leadership role, but at the same time also that coaching, being able to like show that relationship with the players and stuff. So love Steve.
How wild was it to be on the practice court and there's Steph Curry and there's Draymond Green and
man, when I can't say I wasn't like starstruck when I first like did it, but the time that I was like, oh man, I'm in the league is we played preseason and it was Eric Paschall and LeBron James going at it. It was like one-on-one possession. It was like 6 straight possessions though. It was like bucket after bucket. So I'm like, okay, guys is really just going at it. And it was preseason, so guys is like, they're letting people get back in shape, get back to. So just seeing that, I'm like,
LeBron James.
I was gonna say, was there a particular person who you were like, oh wow, was it LeBron? I mean, was it somebody? Obviously, there's a lot of big names in the NBA, and you're trying to go in there with confidence that you're here.
I belong here too.
Right.
That's what I was talking about.
But at the same time, like,
I watched that guy for 10 years.
Right. I mean, he's at this.
Yeah.
Clay.
For sure. Really?
Clay, for sure.
Yeah. And Clay's coming off the injury, right?
Yeah, he was still.
He tore it like that.
Coming off the injury, got injured again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the year he missed like 3 years all combined, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. ACL, Achilles, you name it. Yeah.
My boy Clay.
Oh man, that's your guy, huh?
Great dude.
Yeah.
Just how he carries himself, who he is.
Yeah.
And all the guys that was on the Warriors Foundation, great people. Just been there as my first team, been there for the summer league and stuff. My first year, it was just like made everything real for me. Like as far as like when I first got in, I was already staying in the hotel. So at the time I was staying in the hotel, we haven't moved to San Francisco yet, so it was in Oakland, and the practice facility was like connected to to the Marriott hotel. So all I had to do was just go upstairs. And
Yeah, you were in the
wow.
hotel, right?
And yeah, so I was already inside the practice facility for like the summer time of it. So anytime I just want to go, I'll just go right to the gym. So it was almost, I'm really living in the gym without even. So I would just go down right to the gym. So it was always easy and convenient. So once we did move to out in San Francisco, I had to end up finding a place, but that was a whole like.
I was gonna say there's a good story in like the San Francisco Examiner or San Jose Mercury News. I don't remember where they interview Ky, and Ky's like, Kai's on a two-way contract, and he's like, I can't afford these apartments in San Francisco.
Yeah,
It's a lot different than the town, man. That's for sure.
he was crazy. Steve ended up telling me something about it.
Most expensive housing market
like
in
wild,
the world.
right?
Like,
Yeah, he
yeah.
asked me where was I going to go stay. I told him I go right
They're
to
like, Kai's making $100,000.
right to the project.
The Google campus is right over there, y'all. It's not what you think it is here.
The story was like, Ky makes $100,000, but in San Francisco that doesn't go far, and you're like, wow.
It's true though.
San Fran, that thing ain't going nowhere.
Oh man. So were you expecting when the season, like I was talking, December, Ky scores 19 points versus Portland. He scores 19 versus New Orleans, 24 versus OKC, 17 versus Utah, 16. You're playing some ball.
Yeah.
Are you thinking, I'm good, I'm going to sign with Golden State after the season? This is going to be my spot.
Yeah, I thought I was already like.
Yeah, you were doing
I thought I was
stuff.
locked in like far as like the second half, far as the season, and I was gonna be good. Then when COVID hit, that's when things kind of like took a different course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was still working out with my trainer at the time, Patrick Turner and stuff, and then at the time it was just I guess trying to give other players time to come in the league or whatnot. That's how it was.
It's such a weird world. Then,
Yeah,
right?
that's how it was supposed to be for me, but I wasn't too. It was just weird, like just a weird like encounter as far as like the exit of the whole meeting. Like I was saying, Steve was just like, Ky, I'd love to have you. Like Steve himself already told me.
He sit down and talk to you?
Yeah, he told me himself that he would love to have me and would love to keep me, and it had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
So that was already, so I already knew it was higher up, and
Okay.
at the same time, it was already like, ain't nothing I can really do. Like,
Yeah.
as far as I did my job from on the court and off the court, and I was very professional about the ways I carry myself, as far as talking to people in the morning, seeing people, and like me being like a quiet person, like Ashley, like being away from like family and stuff, and like Ashley going up. It wasn't like I wasn't like talking much, but I was still like shy in the stage of like I don't really know everybody yet. Like I'm still flip flopping from two different teams. Like I would be in Santa Cruz, like my guys in Santa Cruz. I've been with y'all a lot. I know all y'all, but then I come up here, it's like people kind of got like they're on the grooves, kind of thing. It's kind of like
you're part of the team, but not really part of the team. And
but even to this thing, I was like, once I got up there, I was like, I'm on the team. It don't even, no, that don't matter. Yeah, if we scrimmage, Steph, I'm guarding you, or if we scrimmage D-Lo, I'm guarding you. Like this is your matchup for today. And I'm picking you up full court, so it don't matter.
Wow.
So
yeah, there was a story out there where they were playing so many young guys, and the Golden State is having. Matter of fact, that was the year they got the first pick in the draft. They got Wiseman or second pick because y'all had such a rough year with D'Angelo Russell out, Clay's out, Steph's out. Steph's only played like 5 games that year, and talking about how bad the team was, and the article was like, one of the reasons the defense is so bad, except for Ky Bowman, who all these advanced metrics and stats they have now, he was like 4th in the league in this defensive metric.
Yeah.
So you're getting it done on the defensive end too.
Yeah, so it was kind of like everything looked good,
Yeah,
but
you're like, I'm sorry,
it was
I
like,
can't do anything more.
Yeah, it was kind of like how this work in my favor. Like, what's the best ability for me not to have this work in my favor? So at the time, like me coming out, like going into my second year, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good with the Warriors, but then I just got done working out before I got to my exit meeting, and I didn't really know how to go about it. Like, as far as do I go back in the locker room or do I just leave?
Oh,
so it was like it was
You don't go out the same door you came in. There's this little door over here on the back end.
So it was like
oh, that's awkward.
At the same time for me, it was like, is this really happening? But
Sure.
Yeah,
it's almost like I wish you could just I didn't see that. I don't know.
So I ended up going outside with my boy Marquise Chris. He ended up running outside. He like, man, I just heard the news. I'm like, dang, already out. It's already out.
Wow.
I ain't even pull out the
That
the tunnel yet.
There was some I forget what story it was where the guy got cut, but it was on the news before they'd gotten a chance to tell him. It was somewhere in the NFL, but it was all like that where. Yeah, I forget.
Oh, in the door?
Yeah, that is what it was.
know exactly.
And it didn't beep, and he said,
it?
"What's going on?" They were like, "Oh, no one told you."
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's but at least you can, like you said, there's no regrets in terms of what you could have left on the floor or whatever. I mean, everything was in your power. You did.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's all I can do, and just hope for the best from there. And then, because right after that, I think it was. Portland wanted to sign me, and then we ended up taking the Clippers deal instead.
Yeah, you signed with the Clippers.
Yeah, I
right?
signed with the Clippers.
Yeah.
And that's when I ended up exhibit 10, and I ended up going down to the bubble down in Disney World with the G League.
Oh, okay.
And I ended up having an ACL tear down there. Yeah, so I tore my ACL. But then that was that 9 months was. It was crucial, but it taught me a lot far as like how to really like mentally like how to really lock in mentally, really help my mental of like you ain't like to me it's like you ain't got basketball, you don't got basketball, like what are you gonna do, like kind of thing. So it really like it showed me life without basketball before I could see it without basketball kind of thing, and just helped me like ingrain like the things that I really wanted to better myself. As far as the things I want to do away from basketball life, whether it's music, whether it's drawing, whether it's art, even writing. So just trying to really keep on with those things and like keep on letting those flow as I keep growing through the game, but also letting the game grow through me as I also keep experiencing it.
There was a great tweet from our local reporter out there. He had like a mixtape of Ky's highlights from that year, and it just dunks and 3-pointers and locking people up on defense. And he's like, Ky got waived today. This is how hard it is to stay in the NBA.
Yeah, man.
Because you had a really good year.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, also, like, when you're 20 or when you're 18, 19, you're coming out of high school and you're going to college, you don't know what can happen between now and the time 10 years later. You don't know if you'll still be playing the game.
At all.
And so how nice it is to at least, because, you chose basketball over football. It's a game you love to play. You have a deep love for it. And a chance to keep playing at a competitive professional level.
Is the goal to get back to the league, or are you going to be happy playing 10 years overseas? What's the goal here?
I would love to be back in the league. That's I always wanted like the final destination. I would love to be able to fulfill myself with the NBA championship. That's my thing. That's my dream. I think that's my number one dream goal of life. Whether it comes or whether it don't, just being able to still have that mindset, seeing that picture also is what pushes me every day to like do this is where I want to get to, regardless of whether if I'm coaching, whether I own a team, somehow I'm gonna get that championship. So that's the thing for me, just figuring out how the course of life and where life is gonna take me from here and stuff.
You still trying to get workouts with teams in off seasons and stuff?
I was actually supposed to work out with the Warriors. So
I
did, but I just haven't seen my family in so long, so that's been like holding on me, and I didn't want to experience like going too long without seeing my family.
Okay.
Yeah, and just really accepting like that, like even though it's a passing time, but also accepting like it's family, like just making sure I was able to see them because I haven't seen them in such a long time, and then want my nieces and nephews like to grow up without.
That's the thing. You mentioned your nephew coming up. You don't want to miss them growing up and being around that and being an influence.
Yeah, so that's tough. Yeah,
so there's still that relationship with the Warriors then, huh?
I think so. I think it's still up in the air. I think it's just all about what's the move and stuff. I think it really depends on what's my season this year and seeing how I do this year. And I think this year is gonna be a splendid year for me, as far as just for us in the team and just what I envision far as what I think that we're gonna be able to do this year in Serie A, and just really open up a lot of eyes because we could have done it last year. We got it going late, and if we would have had it going early, it was gonna be a tough to beat us. It's already tough to beat us at home. It was just that we'll give early ones away, just too early, But
when does the season start?
schedule haven't came out, but we head back August 16th.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna have to
Start
we're
watching
gonna
some
have to
Italian
start at
basketball.
least keep up at least and see, because getting to know you here a little more, it's it's a remarkable journey for sure.
hey, yeah, I was telling one of my teammates that they need to change the app thing. Like they gotta change like the app to where it's like a worldwide app.
It's 2024, right?
Yeah,
we
but
got.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of calls be OD. Some of the calls y'all can be like, they ain't a foul.
That's right.
It ain't a foul. But they're calling on some people. So it's like certain things. I think they be trying to bypass certain things that's going on. That's what I was saying.
All of a sudden, people start noticing.
Yeah. I've been noticing. So it's not,
For sure.
you know.
Well, congrats on a great year, on a great career thus far, and good luck to you in the future. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, man.